The phrase, "he just kind of wanted to get down to business," means that the person didn't want to waste time with small talk or unnecessary details. They wanted to focus on the main point or the important task at hand. The phrase suggests that the person is eager to start working on something or discuss the main issue right away. Imagine you're in a meeting and people are chatting about their weekend. But then, someone says,
"All right, let's get down to business."
which means they want to stop chatting and start discussing the important matters of the meeting.
After a few minutes of small talk, he just kind of wanted to get down to business and talk about the project deadline.
You're meeting someone to discuss a serious topic, like a job interview. The interviewer doesn't ask about your day or make any casual conversation. Instead, they immediately start asking about your experience and skills. In this case, you could say, "he just kind of wanted to get down to business."
There wasn't much chit-chat. He just kind of wanted to get down to business, asking about my qualifications right away. How did your meeting with the new client go?
It was good. There was no small talk at all. He just kind of wanted to get down to business and jumped straight into discussing the contract.
The phrase, "we have to execute flawlessly," means that whatever task or plan you are working on needs to be done perfectly, without any mistakes. The focus is on achieving the best possible result, making sure that everything goes exactly as planned. Situation 1.
Imagine you're preparing for an important presentation at work. Your boss might say,
"We have to execute flawlessly."
Meaning that every detail of the presentation must be perfect. No errors, no missed points, and smooth delivery.
This project is crucial for our client, so we have to execute flawlessly to meet their expectations.
You're part of a sports team, and you're in the final game of the season. The coach might tell the team, "We have to execute flawlessly," meaning that each player needs to perform at their best without any mistakes in order to win.
To win the championship, we have to execute flawlessly in every play.
The product launch is next week. Are we ready?
"Almost, but we need to make sure everything is perfect. We have to execute flawlessly if we want it to be a success."
The phrase, "if we really wanted to give ourselves the best chances of being successful," means that if we truly want to maximize our chances of achieving success, we should take certain actions or make certain decisions that will increase the likelihood of success. It suggests that success isn't guaranteed, but by doing specific things, we can improve our chances. Imagine you're studying for an important exam. You might say,
"If we really wanted to give ourselves the best chances of being successful, we should start studying early and review all the material thoroughly."
This means that by preparing well in advance, you're increasing the likelihood of doing well on the exam.
If we really wanted to give ourselves the best chances of being successful, we should focus on our strengths and work on our weaknesses.
You're starting a new business and discussing strategies with your partner. You might say,
If we really wanted to give ourselves the best chances of being successful, we should invest in good marketing and make sure our product stands out.
Here you're talking about making smart choices to improve the odds that your business will succeed.
If we really wanted to give ourselves the best chances of being successful, we'd need to research our target market and tailor our approach to meet their needs.
Should we just focus on one marketing strategy?
Maybe, but if we really wanted to give ourselves the best chances of being successful, we should probably try a few different approaches and see which one works best.
This phrase is often used when discussing plans or strategies, and it implies that taking extra care, making thoughtful decisions, or going the extra mile will help improve the likelihood of success. It's about being proactive and doing everything you can to achieve the best possible outcome. The phrase, "I ever made the entire time I was at," is used when someone is reflecting on something they did or experienced during a specific period of time at a particular place. It's usually part of a larger sentence where the speaker is emphasizing a significant action or decision that happened during that time. Imagine someone is talking about their time at college. They might say, "The best friend I ever made the entire time I was at college was John." This means that out of everyone they met during their time in college, John was the most significant or closest friend.
The biggest mistake I ever made the entire time I was at that job was not asking for a raise when I deserved it.
Someone could be reflecting on a long trip they took, saying, "The best memory I ever made the entire time I was at that summer camp was when we went hiking to the waterfall." This highlights a particular memory as the most memorable or important during that experience.
The most valuable connection I ever made the entire time I was at the conference turned out to be with a potential business partner.
What do you think was the most important decision you made while working at that company?
The best decision I ever made the entire time I was at that company was switching departments. It really changed my career.
This phrase is often used when someone is looking back on a specific time in their life and wants to highlight something meaningful or impactful that happened during that period. It adds emphasis to the action or decision, showing its importance in the context of their overall experience.
The phrase, "best people are in the right seats," means that the most capable and talented individuals are in positions where they can be most effective and make the biggest impact. It's like making sure each person is in a role that matches their strengths, skills, and abilities so they can do their best work. Imagine you're managing a project and you've carefully assigned tasks to each team member based on their strengths. You might say, "I feel confident about this project because the best people are in the right seats," meaning everyone is perfectly suited to their roles, so the project should go smoothly.
To make this company successful, we need to ensure that the best people are in the right seats, especially in leadership positions.
You're discussing a sports team like a soccer team and how the coach has placed each player in the position where they perform best. You could say, "The coach made sure the best people are in the right seats, which is why the team is winning so many games."
Our team has really improved since we reorganized. Now the best people are in the right seats, and it shows in our performance.
I'm worried about how we'll handle this new project. Do we have the right people?
Don't worry. We've got the best people in the right seats. Everyone is exactly where they need to be to make this work.
This phrase is often used in business or team settings, where success depends on having the right people in the right roles. It emphasizes the importance of aligning talent with tasks, ensuring that everyone is positioned to contribute their best efforts. The phrase, "they're trying to come up with some solution," means that a group of people is working to find an answer or fix a problem. It suggests that they are brainstorming, thinking, or discussing different ideas to solve an issue, but they haven't found the perfect answer yet. Imagine a team at work is facing a problem with a project. You might say, "They're trying to come up with some solution," meaning they're currently figuring out how to resolve the issue.
The company's profits have been declining, so the management team is trying to come up with some solution to turn things around.
You're talking about a group of friends who are planning a trip, but they're having trouble deciding on a destination. You might say, "They're trying to come up with some solution that everyone will be happy with," meaning they're discussing options to find a compromise.
The kids' school bus broke down, and now the school officials are trying to come up with some solution to get everyone home safely.
I heard there's a big issue with the software update.
Yeah, the tech team is on it. They're trying to come up with some solution as quickly as possible.
This phrase is used when people are actively engaged in problem solving. It shows that they are in the process of finding a fix, but it might take some time before they figure out the best solution. The phrase, "we had to lay people off," means that the company or organization had to let some employees go, usually due to financial difficulties, a decrease in work, or restructuring. It's a way of saying that people were forced to leave their jobs, not because of anything they did wrong, but because the company couldn't afford to keep them anymore. Imagine a company is struggling financially and can no longer afford to pay all its employees. The management might say, "We had to lay people off," meaning they had to reduce the number of workers to cut costs.
During the recession, many companies had to lay people off because there wasn't enough business to keep everyone employed.
You're talking to a friend whose company recently went through some changes. They might say, "It was a tough decision, but we had to lay people off after the merger," meaning they had to reduce staff because of the company's new structure.
After losing our biggest client, we had to lay people off to stay afloat.
I heard there were some changes at your company. What happened?
Yeah,
Unfortunately, we had to lay people off last month. Business has been slow, and it was the only way to keep the company running.
This phrase is commonly used in business contexts when discussing the difficult decision to reduce staff. It reflects the reality that sometimes, due to circumstances beyond anyone's control, a company must make the hard choice to let employees go. The phrase, "I consider myself really good at that," means that someone believes they have a high level of skill or ability in a particular area. It's a way of saying that you are confident in your abilities and think you perform well in whatever that refers to. Imagine someone who is very good at public speaking. They might say, "I consider myself really good at that," when talking about their ability to speak in front of an audience without getting nervous.
I've been playing the guitar for years and I consider myself really good at that.
Someone who excels at organizing events might use this phrase when discussing their talent for planning and executing successful parties or gatherings.
Whenever there's a family event, they ask me to handle the arrangements because I consider myself really good at that.
I'm struggling with designing this website. It's taking me forever.
If you need help, I can take a look. I consider myself really good at that. I've done a lot of web design work before.
This phrase is often used when someone wants to express confidence in their skills. It's a humble way to acknowledge your strengths without coming across as overly boastful. The phrase, "all that extra work does not really change the outcome any," means that even though someone put in a lot of extra effort, it didn't actually affect or improve the final result. The word "any" at the end emphasizes that there was no difference in the outcome despite the additional work. Imagine a student who spent hours adding more details to their school project, hoping to get a better grade. But when they received their grade, it was the same as it would have been without the extra work. They might say, "all that extra work did not really change the outcome any."
I stayed up late rewriting the report, but in the end, all that extra work did not really change the outcome any.
You're talking to a friend who put a lot of effort into preparing for a meeting, but the meeting didn't go as planned. They might say, "all that extra work did not really change the outcome any," meaning that their preparation didn't influence the final result.
We spent weeks tweaking the presentation, but all that extra work did not really change the outcome any. The client still chose a different proposal.
I heard you stayed late at the office to finish that project.
Yeah, but honestly, all that extra work did not really change the outcome any. The client made their decision based on something else entirely.
This phrase is often used to express frustration or resignation when extra effort doesn't lead to the desired improvement or change. It highlights that sometimes, no matter how much additional work you put in, the final result stays the same. The phrase, "we got to begin figuring things out," means that it's time to start understanding or solving a situation or problem. It suggests that there's something unclear or challenging that needs to be addressed, and now is the moment to start working on it. Imagine you're part of a group project at school, and the deadline is approaching, but you haven't made much progress. Someone might say, "we got to begin figuring things out," meaning you need to start organizing your ideas and making decisions to complete the project on time.
The event is only a week away, and we haven't finalized anything. We got to begin figuring things out if we want it to be a success.
You and a friend are planning a road trip, but you haven't decided on the route or places to stay yet. You might say, "we got to begin figuring things out," to emphasize that it's time to start making concrete plans.
The problem isn't going to solve itself. We got to begin figuring things out before it gets worse. We've been talking about this business idea for months, but we haven't done anything concrete.
You're right. We got to begin figuring things out if we want to make this happen.
This phrase is often used when there's a sense of urgency to start solving a problem or making plans. It emphasizes the need to move from thinking or talking about something to actually taking action and working things out.